All right. Hey, everybody. How's it going?
Hello?
Year three with the same quarterback. What's going to look different? What's going to look the same, I guess?
Well, it's a hard one to answer. What's going to look different? I don't know about that one. What will look the same is, obviously, having somebody that's got experience will be greatly advantageous to our football team, and having somebody that's, seen the ups and downs of the position, the ins and outs of the league will be greatly beneficial to everybody around him, and continue to build that offense around him. So excited about that.
What's it mean for you to have the same quarterback for 3 years and build on it?
I know you came in, that was the question, and to expound on that a little bit more is, the continuity is a great thing, especially in this world that we live in right now. Continuity is a great thing, and the training and the retention and where you can start off is, a really positive thing for our program.
Were you worried about him leaving, or did you always figure he was coming back?
Both, you just look around the country and you see the climate that we're in, and there's always, I think, more curiosity sometimes, but all indications were from him, the conversations we had, and just the way he's entrenched himself in the team and the community here, that he was planning on coming back, and then to get that finalized was a great thing for us. So, I was kind of being funny in the answer a little bit, obviously there was no indication I had at all from him that he was ever contemplating or wanting or having a desire to look elsewhere. And certainly probably didn't stop that from people speculating or inquiring or whatever that might be, what's going on in the world today. But we're glad to have him back.
Along those lines, Donovan decided to enter the portal. Thoughts on the depth chart with Donovan moving on? Or?
Well, obviously in the short term for the bowl game, that's impacts a great deal. Obviously gives Kirkland an opportunity to elevate and to be the backup going into this game, and obviously it affects the other guys in the room as well. Trey, and so long term we're always looking to help solidify our roster at all positions, and to get the roster that we feel like it gives our team the best chance to be successful. So, obviously we hated to see. I know I personally hated to see. I think everybody, I can speak on behalf of everybody in the team and the organization, that we hated to see Donovan go into the portal, but certainly on the other side of the coin understood, what his desires were and his decision, his reasoning behind the decision, and he'll do great. He'll do great.
How important is it for you guys to add a veteran presence? I know John and Art were so big for you guys in the past. Is that really important?
Well, I think if you just look at the natural order of a room that you would like to recruit to, develop to, and have I wouldn't say a hierarchy there, but certainly, you'd like to have a spectrum of talent and experience and, all that stuff. And so A to Z. And so, again, that kind of is what I was alluding to earlier, is like, we're always trying to figure out what that best solution is for each position room. And it looks different each cycle, each year. And so ultimately what we're trying to do, and we'll always try to do, is put our football organization the best chance it can be to be successful, and to be able to be successful in that room, you got to have depth, you got to have a broad spectrum of talent, and a wide range of experience for that room to be healthy. And that's what we desire, is for that room to be healthy. And we're excited about everybody that's a part of our organization right now. Every single person that's a part of our organization at the quarterback room, we're excited about, and we really are. And we see talent, and we see ability. We see the ability to win in the Big Ten with them. But it's also our job to construct that room that puts us in the best position to be successful.
How deep are you into South Carolina prep, and what stands out to you about them?
Well, we've been pretty deep into it. Obviously from the first moment that the announcement was made, our support coaches on all phases of the ball dove deep, into to South Carolina, who they are, what they are, and obviously so we're pretty good into that. I think we got a good feel of who they are and what they are, and it's very impressive. And they've got a very impressive defense, very well coached, a lot of respect for the way they coach on defense and the way that they get their guys to play. A very talented bunch. So I think having the extra prep is good, because I think that's it's always good to get more familiar with your opponents than you do in a short week. So we're glad to have that time to prep, because it's certainly an opponent that's very good.
Does the familiarity that Justin Stepp has, that a little help there in the preparation
It
process?
doesn't hurt.
With Pat out, what's this mean for Malik, Alex, even Colin,
Yeah.
to get more opportunity and have this moment?
Yeah. Yeah. Yes, sir. Okay. See you, Luke. Yeah. So it means a lot. I think it would mean a lot to them. Like obviously those guys that have been in games and big moments for us, but to be able to, to have probably an entire game in front of them where they're going to fully anticipate them being a part of, a lot of reps and a lot of opportunities. Listen, we need them to rise up, and we have full confidence they will, but I would assume that this is an opportunity that they're very excited about.
What's it like to balance, you guys prepare for a bowl game, but the transfer portal's also, in full swing. What's that like? And are you guys targeting wide receivers or tight ends? Or just how's that kind of going?
Well, it's kind of like, it's a lot. It's kind of like handling a multi-part question at the same time. You got to think through a lot of things. You know what I mean? No, you're good. I mean, that's part of it. You got a lot going on. You got to think about this. You got to think about that. And you got to be, you got to be spot on. And it's, it's an interesting time in our business, but it's a fun time in the same breath. Obviously, we want to be, you want to be preparing for a bowl, right? Everybody that's not right now wishes they were, and we're grateful and thankful that we are, and it's a great bowl and a great opportunity. So we're juggling that, getting our guys in the best position to be successful, all the while keeping your ear to the ground on what's going on in the portal. Like, wait, there's something happening every hour on the hour, if not more than that, more often and more frequent. I mean, we got some coaches that have pings on their watch of portal alerts, of guys that are, going into the portal. And so, again, it goes back to under the Coach B's supervision and guidance about trying to piece together the puzzle that the way we best suit the best suits us and our organization. And so, so we're always looking at all positions to help where we can solidify our roster. And so it's an exciting time. It's a challenging time, and I think our staff and Coach B and Pat and the recruiting staff are doing a great job of staying on top of that. So there's a lot going on right now.
What's that do for your pitch to potential wide receivers or tight ends when your quarterback is coming back for another?
Well, I think most of them, that's where they want to start, like, okay, they need to know what's going on, what's the history here, who you got coming back. So then you're not selling on a hope and a dream, you're selling on concrete facts. You got a guy that's produced and played well in an offense that's produced for those positions, and to some way, shape, or form has been able to produce, back-to-back first team all Big Ten receivers. Whatever poll you're relating to, but nonetheless, accolades there at that position and that has success. If you look at Coach B's background and history, doesn't matter the position on either side of the ball, you got a guy that knows how to develop and get the best out of guys and help them prepare for an opportunity, not just while they're here to help us have a great experience, but obviously an experience that they could have at the next level. I think anybody that steps foot in the door here realizes that that's something that we've got a tradition with at all positions.
Coach Pat has some special moments this year. Did you have a favorite Pat Bryant memory from this year?
Well, I think that's a great question. I hadn't thought about that in those terms. I'm thinking about through all those, they were all big, I mean, the Purdue overtime catch, and obviously the Rutgers one will probably the Rutgers, the way that game ended with that play. That was, of course, that's exactly how we drew it up. It was good to see him execute exactly the way everything kind of came to fruition, like we had told him in practice. You guys obviously know that's tongue in cheek, but for him to make that play and walk the game off, that doesn't happen very often in football, much less in this level. And so that'll be something I'll always remember him going through there and scoring.
Hey, Josh was talking about a year ago at this time, he was like at home playing video games. Now you get these bowl practices.
Yep.
Like for the program, how important are these really?
Oh, they're hugely important. That's this development, another step forward, a guy to way to improve his skill set. We spend a lot of time with developmental guys getting their opportunity. We'll continue to do that some. That's exactly right. You obviously the bowl, there are extra practices. There are extra requirements. There's sacrifices that are made with going to a bowl game, for players, coaches, and whatnot. But until you want to get a good dose of reality, is you don't go to one and you're sitting around watching other people play and practice and prepare, and then you realize, okay, those sacrifices and those little maybe minor, what you say, inconveniences are well worth it for your organization and for each player. And you want to be practicing. You want to travel on, around Christmas. You want to be off site for Christmas with your team and not at home. And so I think our guys have had a great mindset about attacking that and approaching that and embracing that. We've gotten better. especially young guys and including the returning guys.
I mean, Luke said a lot of the young guys, when they're kind of flying around trying to prove themselves.
Yeah.
Now that they're getting more opportunities, I mean, have you seen that?
Yeah, absolutely. I've seen that. And whether it's been just the young guys going on young guys, but we've got young guys that have been elevated into more, more viable or more, more of a role. And they've certainly taken advantage. And now we got to go do that in the game. You know what I mean? Like we got to go take that to the game. And inevitably, in every bowl game across America, and I'm assuming it'll happen in our game, there'll be a guy that hasn't contributed a lot during the course of the year that's going to rise up and make a play that's going to really affect the game in a positive way.
How much does it change the scout to have an impactful guy like Kyle Kennard opting out for the game?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, a tremendous player and very disruptive player. And I think, again, it's kind of the lay of the land right now. You know, we're just kind of sitting back and we're preparing for their defensive structure and their defensive people. And then obviously a guy that's made a huge impact on their team. But they've got really good depth up front. They've got a really good D-line just in general. And so they platoon their guys a lot. So they've got more than capable guys to come in there and continue their playing defense at a really high level.
We talked about Luke's change in terms of like being more of a vocal leader. You talked about that kind of all year.
Yep.
How did that manifest itself in terms of wins and losses and better offensive? What does it mean practically?
Yeah, that's a great question, and I think I don't know. It's kind of which came first, the chicken or the egg,
Gotcha.
So to speak. I think once Luke experienced some winning moments, I think even going back to the Toledo game in his first year,
Okay.
But I think probably really it took off this year early, after the Kansas game, and obviously our defense was phenomenal that day, and we were just okay, but we rose up, and he in particular rose up in the fourth quarter and made some plays that really have made a difference in the game. And I think when he took that from him, I don't think he ever looked back in his confidence. I think our team never looked back in the way that they viewed him. And I think everybody in this organization really likes Luke and respects Luke. He's very relational. But when they've seen him take over games and help us win games, I think they realize that this is a guy that's got an innate amount of poise and confidence and grit and toughness, and that's who you want leading your team.
Does it kind of feel like
one more after this?
does it kind
Coach
of
B's come down.
does it kind of feel like a million years ago? Like it was just 2023 against Indiana. Like John Paddock was the hot hand, and Luke got benched. Now he's back. 21 touchdowns. Like does it kind of seem like that was so long ago?
Well, I would say the Kansas game feels a long time ago for me, this year and the opener. But yeah, I mean, obviously, I don't know if I would agree with the assessment so much as like Luke got knocked out, got concussed. The next quarterback came in, played really well, and he couldn't even have played in the Indiana game, because he was in concussion protocol. And then obviously at that point we kind of rode the hot hand down the stretch. So I don't know if it was as black and white as what you were saying, but I know that that's part of his journey. About kind of the trials and tribulations of the position, and I think he really grew from those moments. We've kind of talked about that a lot with you guys in the media, and rightfully so. That's been a point of growth for him, and I think he would tell you, and he probably has, that's been part of his journey, and he grew from that moment and has become a better person, a quarterback from it.
Barry, I'm curious
Last one here.
Okay, we're good. Yeah, last one.
curious
I get it.
if there was a call, a meeting, a text with Luke, a moment that you remember. One of the three.
It's like a whoomp.
I don't want to shoot.
Is that what that is?
I don't want to pigeonhole. Is that right?
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah, I woofed him. Yeah,
That's good.
yeah.
That he told
That's an
you.
office joke,
It
everybody, in
is.
case Barry's wondering. Yeah.
It's a good one. That he told you he was, officially coming back. Is there anything that sticks in your mind as kind of monumental there?
Well, I thought the video. I think that's when I found out for sure. Like that it was like I thought it was leaning that way, and I was like, okay, this is good. I see my guy out there. Here comes the video. And that was awesome to see our fans. I think if I told him, I think if I'd have made that announcement back when I was playing, they might have booed me. That I was coming back. So for him to get that response, from our people was pretty cool. It says a lot about what he's accomplished. Obviously, he's just a part of our team and our organization that's accomplished so much this year. He'll be the first to tell you that, but obviously that position gets a lot of praise and scrutiny, and it goes both ways in that regard. And so we were thrilled for him I thought it was fun that he got a chance to have that moment, and I think it meant a lot to him and our team.
Thank you.